Alright, let's play. I will play knight on f3 this time because I want to show you if I remember correctly, it's called King's Indian attack. Black plays pretty much whatever he wants, and we play this setup. So with knight on f3, bishop on g2, short castle, and then we can choose which pawn to move. So it is pretty interesting, and if you like positional play, I would say this is a really good and interesting choice because, as you can see, people have absolutely no clue about what to do against this setup, because you just basically give them all the center and they just mess up the opening. I mean, he played d6 and now e5, so he wastes a full time for pretty much no reason. Now he's threatening to play e4, so we can play d3, preventing it. And our plan is probably to play e4. Then we develop the knight and we figure it out. And as you can see, we have a perfectly fine position. We are definitely better because our opponent wasted time, too much time. And yeah, life is good. Okay, so let's start with c4. Controlling some squares. And after that, I want to play knight on c3. So what happens is that now I have more control in the center. This is still prevented, and we could even play e3 eventually. And now I have to choose what to do. Yeah, e3 looks like makes sense. And I eventually want to play d4. Okay, so let's play e3. There is the pressure on the diagonal, and we might even try to flank to the bishop this way. So he is spinning the knight, and I think it could be a pretty sensible move to play queen on b3, just attacking the pawn. I'm pinning the knight. Don't see why not, honestly. Even queen on c2 makes sense, but you attack me. So yeah, I would say queen on b3 makes more sense. If you play knight on a5, I have a queen on a4, and you can go back or defend the knight, but I'm going to make him go backward another time. Yeah, this move is bad because it weakens all the diagonals. So as you can see, this opening is pretty tricky, and I would say we are already winning. We probably are already winning. We're pretty close to, because it's not super easy to defend this. So let's see, how can I put more pressure? Now, knight on d2 with the idea of knight on e4 is pretty interesting. So I would say we can start with this. So pressure on the knight. If you push, you lose a pawn, and this way your rook is under attack. So we still have a lot going on. You have to move the rook, so I would say queen on e4 definitely looks like a pretty good move. The rook is still under attack, pressure on the knight, and I want to play b4. After I play b4, you have a lot of problems with the knight, and if you go back this way, after I go back on a3, I still have a ton of pressure, and your bishop is misplaced. If you play this, I can play b4. Defending the queen and attacking the knight at the same time. Well, the knight is not really under attack because I will lose the queen. Okay, so a sensible move at this point would be just to move the queen. Or I could even take the pawn because he's hanging. He's giving us the pawn for free. Let's take with the knight. Makes sense. Now I'm up a pawn. I still cannot take this. But I'm threatening to take the bishop, and then I might be able to take the knight. If you take with the queen, I can, because the queen is defended. I cannot take now because I will lose the queen for the bishop. Okay, but you could play this. You could play this. It's not terrible. What do I want to take? The knight or the bishop? I feel like taking the bishop is better in this case because it is pretty annoying. So yeah, let's take. If you take with the knight, this falls. If you take with the queen, I can just take and then take this way. Although I need to be careful to not grab my queen, which, you know, might happen. Another good thing, since I'm up a really good pawn, is playing this. And actually might be winning. Yeah, let's play b5. The point is that if you move the knight, I win the queen. If you take my queen, I take. And now your rook is hanging and your knight is hanging too. So I would say I win. Let's take the rook. And now let's try to play everything. So I'm going to play knight on b3. If you take, you open the file for me. So thank you. If you play this, I mean, your knight doesn't make any sense. I could even take it, but this bishop is much stronger. Now, keep this in mind. Trading is good when you're up material, obviously, but you should make the right trades. This is not right. you're just going to lose a bit of advantage. If it is a decent trade, okay, but this is not even decent. I mean, this bishop is a monster. There isn't any reason for trading the bishop for the knight, which is pretty bad. Maybe makes sense now in conjunction with a5. Yeah, now it makes more sense. It gives me more activity. If you take, the knight becomes a monster. If you do nothing, I take and I open the file. So by taking the knight, your rook is misplaced. Doesn't make any sense there. So in this case, it makes sense, but only after I play this. But yeah, it is obviously designable. At this point, I mean, close position where you're up material are not really difficult to win. Okay, so my rook is under attack. This move doesn't make any sense. Your bishop now is misplaced, and you attack something that, I mean, my rook doesn't really belong on f1. I would like to have the rook on d1 or d1. Let's play rook on e1, so eventually I can play rook on d1. But yeah, and just much better. There is no need to take, we can just push, and we can easily create a pass pawn 2. So even this move is pretty bad. So when you play a move, you should think what happens after that, because he is clearly not thinking about that. Even in this case, I can just attack the bishop and have a beautiful square for my knight. So let's take first. You probably have to take this way. Well, even this way, definitely not with the rook. And now we can attack the bishop. We can infiltrate. We can do whatever we want. As simple as that. Let's get in. If you take, I have a pass pawn. Pretty easy. Well, this way I have two pass pawns. I would say that's fair. Let's double rooks. Putting pressure on the pawn. This blunders the pawn. What does it? Well, not really, we just trade, but yeah, it's still fine. I mean, whatever. Do whatever you want. Let's attack the knight. Let him need to get in. And it's time to double rooks. I don't think there is a way to defend this. If you push, there is en passant. And GG. Let's take the pawn. And now we just have to push. Rook on b7 I think is the most precise move, but we could even play rook on a8 and I take and we make a queen and we win the knight too. But yeah, GG. So yeah, I think you saw how strong the King's Indian attack actually is, and the best thing is that you can play it against pretty much everything. You always play the same setup. It's like playing the London, you know, you play the same setup, but this time I would say it is much better and also pretty tricky. I suggest this opening for an intermediate player because it's not super simple. You need to be decent with positional play, but after you are pretty good with that, you're going to destroy pretty much everyone and you don't even need to learn theory. So yeah, that's it for today guys. If you like this video, remember to leave a like and subscribe, and see you soon with the next video.